This video is to learn about equations of motion. As you can see, there are three equations of motion. V is u plus at, S is ut plus half of at squared, and v squared is u squared plus 2as. These are the three equations of motion, where u means the initial velocity of a body, v means the final velocity of the body, a is the acceleration of the body, capital S is the displacement of the body. You can see S here, you can see S here. T is the time in which the velocity of the body changes from u to v, or time in which the acceleration a happens. So, using these three equations, we can know about what the kind of motion of a particular body is. So, studying these equations, we can know about the motion of a body. So, let us look at one example. So, we have a scenario here where a car is moving at 30 kilometers per hour. So, we have a car moving at this speed, 30 kilometers per hour. Now, after 2 seconds, what happens is the body, the car that is moving at 40 kilometers per hour. So, you can see that there is a change in velocity of the body. The change in the velocity of the body from 30 kilometers per hour to 40 kilometers per hour, and this change in velocity is taking place in 2 seconds. So to say, there is a change in velocity in this amount of time, which means there is acceleration of the body happening. The car is accelerating, and that is exactly what we are required to find. But one thing I want to point out over here, this unit is given in kilometers per hour, and this time is given in seconds. So, kilometer per hour is not the SI unit of velocity, remember. So, we need to work in the same system of unit. So, either we convert this second to hour, or we convert this kilometer per hour to meter per second. I think that would be easier for us. So, from this question, we see that the initial velocity, the velocity in which the body initially is moving in, is u. So, u is 30 kilometers per hour. So, you can convert this to meters per second. So, kilometer is converted to meter, hour is converted to seconds. So, we get 8.33 meter per second. And the final velocity is 40 kilometers per hour, which is 11.11 meter per second after conversion. And time is 2 seconds. And acceleration is something that we do not know. So whenever you get a numerical like this, always start with what is given in the question. So these are the things that are given to us, and this is the unknown. Now, what will we use? So looking at the three equations of motion in this particular question, final velocity is given to us, initial velocity is given to us, time is given to us. We are required to find the acceleration. Okay. Displacement, had displacement been given, we could have used the second equation also. Had displacement been given, okay, v is given, u is given, all right. If displacement of the body in this amount of time, in 2 seconds, what is the displacement of the body? How much distance has the body moved? If that was given, we could have used equation number 3 also. Or we could have used equation number 2 also if displacement was given, because initial velocity is given, time is given. If displacement was given, we could have used the second equation. But since displacement is not given to us, what we can use is we will use the first equation, because final velocity is given, initial velocity is given, time is given. So we can simply find acceleration using the first equation of motion. And that is exactly what we do. So we know v is u plus at, that is the first equation of motion. So substituting the values in the same system of unit, remember. So v is 11.11. You need not bother about the unit. So 11.11, of course, in meter per second it is. U is 8.33 plus A, we do not know, so we simply write A, into time is 2 seconds, so 2. So therefore, you can do the math yourself. So 2A is, please check the mathematics here. 2A is 11.11. We are taking this 8.33 to the other side, so it's minus 8.33. So solving this, we get 2.78, and acceleration thereby comes out to be 1.39 meters per second squared. All right, finally, write the unit of acceleration, that is meter per second squared. So you can write, therefore, the acceleration of the car is 1.39 meter per second squared. So this is how you do it, remember. Now let us look at this question. This question I'm not going to do, but I'm going to tell you how to do this. You'll do this yourself. Okay, exactly. It's almost the same as this first question that we dealt with. So here we are talking about a car which is initially running at 15 kilometers per hour. So the initial velocity of the car is 15 kilometers per hour. After 2 seconds, the velocity or the speed is 18 kilometers per hour. All right. And after further 2 seconds, it is 21 kilometers per hour. So here there are two cases actually. It's the same problem as this first case that we discussed, as the first problem that we discussed, but there are two different cases, two different scenarios. First, the body is moving with 15 kilometers per hour. After 2 seconds, it is 18 kilometers per hour. So for this motion, for this case up to here, okay, so this is the final velocity and this is the initial velocity, this is the time. Since the question is saying find acceleration, so for this first case, you'll find the acceleration exactly the same way that we did in this previous problem, previous numerical. This is the final velocity, this is the initial velocity, this is the time. Of course, you have to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, and you'll find the acceleration for this case. Then the second case, after further 2 seconds, it is 21 kilometers per hour. Now for this case, this 18 kilometers per hour is your initial velocity u. Okay, and 21 kilometers per hour is your final velocity v. And this change in velocity is happening in 2 seconds. So for this second scenario also, okay, you will find acceleration. So there are two values of acceleration that you're finding. First, for this case, change from 15 kilometers per hour to 18 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds. So for this case, you will find acceleration. Then for second case, from 18 kilometers per hour to 21 kilometers per hour, again in 2 seconds, you will find acceleration. You will see if the two values of the acceleration is same or not. If the two values of acceleration is the same, then it is a case of uniform acceleration, because the two values of acceleration is the same. So it's a case of uniform acceleration, and that is also something that you need to find. Is the acceleration uniform? There should be a question mark over here. So if the two values of acceleration that you find is the same, it's a case of uniform acceleration. If not the same, then it's a case of non-uniform acceleration. So this is about equations of motion and some simple numericals based on the three equations of motion. Now let us look at this topic, that is force. Force is something that you already know. In your junior classes, you've learned that force basically is push or pull. Push or pull is what is called force. Now, here we are going to write a more technical definition of force. And force is an external agent which tends to change or actually changes the state of rest or of motion of a body. Force also changes the shape or size of a body. So I have this pen. This pen is at rest right now. So if there is no force acting, this body, this pen will continue to be at rest forever. But if I apply a force, what is happening is its state of rest is changing to that of motion. So that is what this thing is saying. Force therefore is an external agent which changes the state of rest of a body. So state of rest has been changed to state of motion because of force, because of an external agent that we are applying. Likewise, there could be a body in motion, like a car is moving. Now the driver applies brakes. What happens is then after the car comes to a stop. So initially the car was moving, it was in motion, but because of the external agent being applied, that is the force being applied on the brakes, what happens is the car comes to a stop. A train is coming, Superman comes in front of the train and he applies an opposite force in the opposite direction, the train comes to a stop. So what is happening? Force over there is making the body stop, or the state of motion of the train is changed to a state of rest. So therefore, force is an external agent which actually changes the state of rest or motion of a body. That is what is meant by this definition. Furthermore, it says which tends to change. Now, force does not always change the state of rest or of motion of a body. Like I have a concrete wall, I go on pushing the concrete wall. Will I be able to move the concrete wall? Of course not. Okay, because the amount of force that I'm applying is not enough to move, or is not enough to change the state of rest of the wall to that of motion. So that is why these words over here, which tends to change, wants to change but cannot. All right, so therefore force is an external agent which tends to change or actually changes the state of rest or motion of a body. So this is how we define force. Also, force changes the shape or size of a body. I have paper, I squeeze it, or I have plastic, I squeeze it. Okay, the shape and size of the body changes. So this is how we more technically define force. Now, force is a physical quantity, so therefore it will have a unit. So unit of force is Newton, denoted by a capital N, and Newton is the SI unit. Newton, this unit comes from the name of Isaac Newton, of course, the famous scientist, famous physicist. So Newton is the SI unit of force. There's something called dyne, which is the CGS unit of force. And the relation between 1 Newton and dyne, Newton and dyne, so to say, is 1 Newton is 10 to the power 5 dynes. Please keep this thing in mind. Also, I have already told you before also, from Newton's second law of motion, we are going to study Newton's second law of motion in times to come or in classes to come. But do remember, from Newton's second law of motion, we know that force F is mass into acceleration. F is m into a. So to say, from this equation you can see that force depends on two things. The force applied on a body depends on two things: its mass and its acceleration. A car is running, say for example, something is rolling, a ball is rolling, I want to stop the ball. The amount of force that I have to apply to stop the ball depends on the mass of the ball and the acceleration of the ball. Or the amount of force that we need to stop a car depends on the mass of the car and the acceleration of the car. The more the mass of the car, the bigger the mass of the car, more force is required. The faster the car is moving, that is more the acceleration of the car, more force, of course, we need to apply. So force depends on two things: mass and acceleration of a body. Now, forces can basically be classified into two kinds. One is contact force and the other is non-contact force. These things actually you've learned in your junior classes also. But contact forces, what are contact forces? Forces that comes into play when two or more bodies actually comes in contact is what is called a contact force, like frictional force, force of tension, normal reaction, force exerted during collision, etc. So when a body moves over the surface of another body, the two, like this paper and the pen, so pen is moving over the surface of the paper. So these two bodies, the paper and the pen, are actually coming in contact, and the force that comes into play in between these two bodies is the force of friction. So force of friction is a contact force. Force of tension, when I'm trying to bend something or when I'm trying to pull a rubber band, okay, what happens is my hand and the rubber band, they are coming in contact. My hand and this pen, when I'm trying to bend it, it's coming in contact. So there's a force of tension that comes into play. What is normal reaction? When I have a body, okay, this body is trying to, it's the weight of the body is acting vertically downward, but the floor or this table is also applying an upward force on this body. Okay, so that is what is your normal reaction. So that is also a contact force. Or when two bodies collide, the force that comes into play is force of collision, which is a contact force. Likewise, we have non-contact forces. The force which comes into play when bodies do not actually come in contact, like gravitational force. I let this pen go, it falls down. Although, why is it falling down? Because the earth is pulling it. So the earth and this pen, although not in actual contact, but still there is a force that is acting between them, which is gravitational force or non-contact force. I have two magnets. These two magnets will pull each other, although at a certain distance, although not in actual contact. So that is a magnetic force. I use a ruler, rub the ruler on my hair, and that ruler will pick up small pieces of paper, although the ruler and the paper may not be in actual contact. So that is electrostatic force, which are examples of non-contact forces.